Hello folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me once again. You are always most welcome. Well, as promised, we're doing our little weekly look at the latest kits from ICM, and we've got the World War II German Staff Car. Now, it's quite funny, when I did the intro video to talk about the ICM collaboration, I've got Jason, I think it was, from Model Kit Stuff, said, I'd like that, because I said, let me know, and we'll, you can buy it from me, and all the money you give me will go straight to Ukraine charities. And he said, I like that. I said, not the staff car though, because watching very closely, I was sort of talking about, this is of interest to me, not least because of my Tamiya 32nd scale Spitfire, which I built, which is in the colours of this chap Charlie Fox, this Canadian pilot. Canada, etc., etc. And he, of course, was a ground attack pilot, and he was flying over Normandy toward the end of June, I think it was, the second, third week in June, 1944, and came across this staff car tearing down this road towards the race course on the Liverpool Road near a village called Saint Montgomery, and he and his colleague attacked. And he shot up this staff car because it turned out to be Field Marshal Rommel coming back from a command group meeting in I don't know if it was Liverpool or Vimoutier. And he was very badly injured, of course, and I think the driver was killed, and this Spitfire cannoned it up good, The car was a total write-off, and Rommel staggered into a local house, and then they took him off to hospital, and he was out of the war, basically. So it's quite interesting. It would go quite well with my Spitfire, this. I think it would make a bit of a diorama. Now, I have sent to ICM about this, actually. I've sent them a message saying some of the feedback that you subscribers and viewers have given on the first intro vid, saying a couple of comments were, could we perhaps have some figures that would go in this staff car, German Army general and some officers sort of thing, and driver. And perhaps they can, I've asked them, perhaps they can think about that for the future. They don't do it currently, but they do. They're so good at the figures. ICM's figures are brilliant. If you've never tried them, you should. I'm very impressed with them, and they're now my go-to figures, to be honest. So, this one, yeah, that was one comment, and the other comment was, could we have pilots, seated pilots? They're very good at doing these little sets, so I can see that they'd be a good manufacturer to consider doing seated pilots in 72nd, 48th, or maybe even a set, say World War II fighter pilots, and then doing them in at least two scales, perhaps. That would be quite good, and then they could I think they'd sell quite well, actually. I think they would, because then people could pose their aircraft in flight. Anyway, I'm digressing. So, back to the staff car. So, I'll read you what it says on the side. It's a Mercedes. When I first saw it, I thought it was a Horsch. But it's not, it's a Mercedes. And it says, nice picture on the side, I'll just zoom you in for that. That's a nice looking Merc, isn't it? It also reminds me of, some of you may have seen the film about the assassination in World War II. Was it 1943? My memory's going. 43 or 44 of Heydrich, who was in the Czech sort of commandant of the Czech Republic, Hitler's Nazi, bully, really, and he was assassinated by these guys in, I think, it's on the outskirts of Prague, wasn't it? And they actually hit him with guns and grenade, and he was actually in a car like this, I think. So yeah, it's been, it's quite an evocative vehicle. So what does it say? It says, first of all, I should tell you it's kit 35540, and it says Mercedes-Benz 320 W142 was developed by Daimler-Benz AG and launched in 1937. It's equipped with a 6-cylinder engine, a volume of 3.2 litres and 3.4 litres in later versions. And it had 78 horsepower, which doesn't sound very efficient today, of course, but it is, for 1937. It was available with a short wheelbase of 2.88 metres or a long 3.3 metre version. I guess Hitler had something like this, didn't he? I think he had the long wheelbase. The Mercedes 320 was the most prestigious of the three 6-cylinder middle-class models. One of the body variants for the long wheelbase cars was the Cabriolet, In turn, there was also several versions of the Mercedes-Benz 320 which differ in the number of seats, doors and the side windows. 4-seat Cabriolet B versions had 2 doors and 4 side windows. Okay, so it's got a very big, long door. This was used by the Wehrmacht as a staff car and was also a vehicle for the transport of senior commanders like Rommel and Heydrich. Okay, so I was going to tell you something then. The seats, doors, windows. Very impressive. Okay. Yeah, something's just slipped my mind I was going to mention, but it'll come back to me, I'm sure. So, let's get into it. It's completely sealed, this one. Oh, sealed on 4 sides this time. Not 6 like we had on the Bronco. Oh, no, it's 2 on... That's not 2 on that side and 1 on this side. Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as it's secure and it's safe and it arrives with you is what's important. Okay, so it's not going to be huge. This is the trouble with live openings, isn't it? ICM's very secure boxing. I like them, actually, I don't mind at all. But it's not always good TV, is it? Right, okay, box in the box. So, okay. One bag again, usual thing. And we've got paint. Looking at the paints again, which you won't bother with because we've kind of had that. So, are there any decals? I think there will be for number plates and things. Whoops, going to be awkward, aren't you? No, you are. Just know you are. Let's have our Ukraine flag to prop you up. Stop you, will it? No, I don't think it will. Right, we'll have the Ukraine flag anyway. And we'll have that over there, out of the way. So, I'm saying there's any decals. Yes, there are. Just a few. Oh yes, you've got the German Wehrmacht markings for when they've got a general on board, etc. And then you've got some number plates, as I expected. There we go. There we are. So yeah, pennants, flags for the Wehrmacht. So, let us have a look at this. Now, I have never seen an ICM car before. This is completely new to me, so I'm going to enjoy this. And I do quite like my cars. Bit of a dab hand with the old cars, really. So it tells you the same, yeah, same write-up, but it just gives you a bit more information. Maximum speed 126 k's. What's that? About 85, is it? 80 miles an hour, something like that. More than adequate. Yes, very nice. And it gives you a bit of a paint guide on the front. Let's have a look inside. So, oh, okay. Ah, yes. Now this reminds me. When I was doing the review of the catalogue, it showed you the Cabriolet version with the top up. So obviously there is actually a sprue for the top, I presume, because it's got a big X through it telling you not to use it. Or is that just saying that's not included? I'm not sure. I get the feeling that might not be included, that particular sprue anyway, but we'll see. Other than that, you're going to use everything. Big sprue map here. And then here we go. So you start off with your Daimler-Benz engine and build that up. Building that up with your gearbox. You've got the sump there, F going in, big sump. And then you've got your carburettor with your air filter. Carburettors, I should say. Because it's 12 cylinders, isn't it? It's got a lot of cylinders. No, it's not. It's 8, isn't it? We're talking about 8 cylinders. It's a straight 8, isn't it, basically? Okay. Did it say that at the front? Seats. 6 cylinders. 6? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Why does it show 8 on the side? That's curious. Six-cylinder middle class. Well, it's a 6-cylinder, but if you look at this image, the instructions seem to indicate that it's got 8. Let me move this closer so you can see I'm not going completely mad. Can you see that? The cylinder exits at the side. It's actually the inlet manifold. It seems to have 8, not 6, which is very odd. Anyway, what dwell on it? I'm not sure a generic engine might not have been used really here. There might have been a bit, maybe a corner's cut. We'll have a look at the plastic because that might differ from what the instructions are showing. Anyway, that goes in. You've then got your alternator going on there. You've got your fan belt and your cooling fan going on the front, various hoses, cooling hoses, and then you're going to build up your chassis at the side, complete with all the various supports for the body. This is in the days when these sort of cars had a separate chassis, and you've got the basically the differential at the back, and then you're going to build this up complete with all the cross members. Oh, these are the days, eh? And then you've got your drive shaft, your prop shaft and your drive shafts with your differential going in there. And you've got what looks like some, is it leaf springs? No, it's actually got shock absorbers. It's got proper springs, separate springs, not leaf springs. Okay, that's quite impressive. Can you see that? Again, there's a little bit faint on the ICM. I have to say, that's a bit too faint. Can you see that? Even I'm struggling here and I'm right in front of it, never mind on the camera. That's very, very faintly done. It's almost like the printers have run out of ink, and yet they've done very bold, clear lettering, numbers for the parts. But the diagram's too faint, I think. That's worse than normal. So I would say to ICM, try and make it a bit more... I don't really understand that, especially when it shows the fuel tank going in, because that's the part you're working on. So it's not like it's faint because it's something you've already worked on. It's just faint. I think anybody with eyesight problems is going to have a bit of trouble here, maybe. Anyway, your engine's then going to go in. You've got your fuel tank at the back. You've got your wheels and your tyres have all been assembled here. And of course they have drum brakes, I think, don't they? Yeah. And then you've got your bumper going on, engine and gearbox going in. Then you've got your radiator and your cooling hoses going in here. And then we're going to bring that chassis, running chassis, together with the body. Bring that down, and you've got your boot and your exhaust is going on there. Then you've got some parts of the interior. It's got the pedals and the clutch, the accelerator and the brake, and then the gear shift. And then you get your seats going in. You've got your front scuttle with your instrumentation, instrument binnacle, dashboard going on. And that front scuttle going actually into the car then, complete with what looks like the brake master cylinder. And then we've got, what is that? Not sure what that is actually. Oh, it's like basically a brace. I'm trying to figure out what this great big rod is. It's like a brace, support brace, like an RSJ, isn't it? Almost like a roll cage type of bracing. Then we've got our seating going in here, complete with we've got is that the backrest? No, it's just inverted. That's the seat construction, front and rear. And then you've got your backrest going in here. Looks nice, this. And then you've got your side panelling door cards going on to the side of the large doors. Then we've got the body side door, the exterior of the door there. Same on the other side, that going in. And you've got your rather posh Mercedes-Benz steering wheel. Or Daimler-Benz, I should say, shouldn't I? Then you've got your boot going on there. Radiator grille, chromed radiator grille. And you've got more bracing here. And you've got your windows coming in and your bonnet. Your spare wheel is that. Spare wheel, it goes on the side, the spare wheel. Goes on the side here. And then a spare on it. Okay, so they have a spare on each side in actual fact. How interesting. And you've got your headlights coming in here. And you've got your wartime night blackout headlight there. And you've got the door handles and various clips that open the bonnet, the mirror goes on. Excuse me. You've got your handles for opening the boot and the rear lights. The bumper goes on, and then there, and then you've got your folded down tonneau cover roof. And then you've got the mechanism which operates it here, and same on the other side. And that is your Daimler finished. And there we have the zoom you out. Excuse me. There we have got the finished product. Looking very, very handsome indeed. You need to get a nice deep glossy black on this one, I think. Yes. I don't think they ever actually bothered to camouflage them, did they, in the field, which is kind of curious, unless I'm going to be proven wrong. What's it? Well, they kind of did. But this is in France in 1940, and it's black. Now, one of the Spitfires spotted it from like 2 miles away. That's what doomed Rommel. If they'd have camouflaged it, he might have had more of a chance. Now here we've got a very impressive two-tone blue. This is a Luftwaffe unit, so it's painted up. They've made a bit more effort. Look at that. That's very dandy. I like that. Luftwaffe staff car. Gorgeous. And then over here we've got the Eastern Front. So again, just in the black. Which I'm not sure that would, again, in the winter that wouldn't be a good colour, would it? That would stick out like a sore thumb. And then here there's actually, I don't know if you can make this out, in the decal, something I missed. You've got the World War II German Signal magazine, which is going to be on the back seat. Leave that folded on the back seat. And then finally you've got the Night Fighter, Nachtgeschwader, 1943. Interestingly, they are in this very dark grey sort of style rather than black. I'm not sure the idea of that is really. And again, they've got the Signal magazine again, a different edition, I think it is. There. That's cool. I like it. Right, so, yes, some nice touches there, I think. I like the magazine idea, that's quite good. And some quite interesting schemes. But no actual camo, they didn't camo them, you know. Unlike Captain Mannering in Dad's Army, of course, but that's another story. I know a lot about that because I was there when it was being filmed. Alright, let's have a look at what we've got in the plastic. Let's take a look at this. We've never seen a car from ICM, as I said, so this is going to be quite interesting. They're a bit tight with the bags, it's a real tight squeeze. I think that's why sometimes they're not sealing up again. Okay, so we've got wheel tyres and we've got clear screens. Let's have a look at it then. So, we have got 2 big sprues. He says, well, one seems to be attached. Yeah, so interestingly that instruction had it crossed out. Well, what it didn't mention was this is the, I'll start with this one. So this is the actual roof, sprue for the roof, tonneau cover roof, foldable roof. So you can quite clearly see here that it's got this lovely contour to it, like a canvas type roof, fabric roof. And there's the sides. Fly. Sorry about that. There's the sides to it. And the mechanism here. That's very nice, isn't it? Look at that, no flash there. Lovely. Very nice sprue indeed. That's the first one. Then we have got a big one, which is to zoom out for this. Oh, we have actually got some bits of, I was going to say flash, it's just bits of excess plastic. Not actually connected to the model, it's just static electricity's got it hanging on there from the mould, I think. It just blows off, no problem. So, here we go. This is the body, lower body. So, obviously the front is to the right as you look at the screen. And then we've got the door panels, and they're nicely detailed, look at those. Look at that. You've got your Daimler radiator grille, and you've got your internal door panels here. Can I get it upside down? Actually, go that way. There you go, that's better. And you've got your seats, look at the contour on the seats. The leather contouring, that's nice, isn't it? Huh. Yeah, you've got seats, lower seats here for the front, and then that's the rear seat, I think. And then you got your the fuel tank, and that's the boot itself there in the middle. And there's no ejector pins anywhere here. Yeah, there's 1 or 2 underneath. Don't care, doesn't matter. Over here we've got, I'll just take it over again, then we've got the windscreen and frame surrounding the front scuttle, front bulkhead, and then we've got again the internal finish on the door cards, and again more seats. This time it's the back, I think. No, actually wrong way around. That's the base, this is the back. Okay, and then over here we've got the bonnet. What a lovely sprue. That's really sharp, isn't it? Nice, 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 nice. And then on the other one, this is where we've got all the wheels, rather posh looking wheels. The Mercedes / Daimler 3-pointed star. You've got your engine. Now let's have a look at this engine. Well, I still say to you, unless I've lost the ability to count, that looks like 8 cylinders to me. I don't really understand that. Can you see? As close as I can. It's too close. There we go. I can see 8. I can see 8 holes there, not 6. So I'm a bit puzzled by that. Perhaps there's something I'm not aware of. Any experts on these engines, please shout up. There's your fancy coil spring and shock suspension it's got. So it must have been quite a good ride, you know, as against leaf springs. It does have leaf springs. It does have leaf springs at the front. Sorry, here. Can you see? Turn it the way up, it'll make more sense actually. That way up. There we go. It does have a leaf spring system. I think that's the front. I think the back it's got like coilover shockers basically. And then we've got the double exhaust twin boxes. Before the days of catalytic converters, of course. And then we've got the radiator. Is that the radiator? Yeah. And then you got your lovely. This is nice the way they've done this. Look at the Mercedes. It's so small, isn't it? Look at the Mercedes steering wheel. And there's the outer wheel, complete with all the indentations for the thumb holes. Can you see that? That's nice. Clever. Very good moulding. And you've got all these chassis rail parts for the main chassis here. And you've got your differential and your prop shaft. Whoops, differential and prop shaft there. Main prop shaft from the engine. And yeah, lots of small parts and handles and things. You've got your where's the fan? Don't see the fan. I can see the fan belt, but I'm not seeing the fan itself for some reason. Is it somewhere else? Not sure. Maybe I'm missing something here. Oh yeah, you've actually got the Daimler badge there. Can you see it at the end? 3-pointed star goes on the bonnet. That is really cool. Yeah, I'm sure my eyes are failing me here because I'm sure there's a fan here somewhere and I've just missed it somewhere along the lines. Is that a little sprue? Did I miss that? Where would that be then? Try it on the other side. It's there. It's just, yeah, it's just not that obvious. Okay, we've got it. So it's sorry, it's there. There's the fan. It's just the way they presented it. It's kind of maybe not as obvious as it might have been. There it is. Right. So finally, then we've got some clear parts. So we'll have a quick look at these, which is quite important on a vehicle like this, of course. Undo the bag. Oops. There we go. There we are. Now then. Now ICM's clear parts usually are really rather nice. Now I have to say that is very, very nice. The only thing I can see, you might spot it here, there's a little bit of distortion just above where the sprue gate contact point is. Can you see it? I'm sure if you'll make it out as well as I can. Just, can you see it there? A little bit of distortion where it's where the flow, the plastic flows into the mould basically. It's perhaps difficult to avoid, same on that side. But I'm being very picky. That's actually nice glass. And given that this is, you know, a German staff car, World War II, it probably wants a bit of weathering anyway. You wouldn't notice that, but it's very, very clear. Don't know if that's coming across. Beautifully clear. Nice glass. So you've got your windscreen and your side windows there. Whoops. Okay. And then finally we have got our tyres. Rubber tyres. I think rubber tyres do look good on a car, to be honest. As against an aircraft, I think it's not quite that critical perhaps. You know, resin tyres or plastic tyres look okay when it's all painted and weathered anyway. But I think on a motor car, I do still like to see a rubber tyre, to be honest. Okay, there's 3 sprues are basically the same thing, so let's get in nice and close on this, if we can. He says, can we make that out? There we go. You can see it has got a slight seam down the centre. Whoops. It's got a slight seam down the centre. I'm just trying to... Honestly, you're going to see this better than me because I can't focus enough. It's so... because it's black. It's so tiny. I'm just trying to see if I can make out the manufacturer's name. I think it'll be Continental, but I'm not 100% sure. Is that visible? Can't quite make it out. I need my... I'm going to put my... There's only one way to solve this. You're probably all laughing watching this saying, I can see. Well, I'll tell you what, you need some good glasses. It's because it's black as well. It doesn't help. Quite hard to spot. So I'm going to rely on my optivisors for a moment, if you just bear with me. No is the answer. There is no writing on the side. Okay. I mean, I think there would have been Continental, in fact. So I guess they're all the same anyway. Not quite like the others. Which is a little bit of detail perhaps they could have done. I suppose moulding it in rubber does restrict how much flexibility you really sort of have for doing that kind of thing. I think when you're doing it in plastic, it's a lot easier to injection mould it with a name logo on the side. So that, I suppose, is the limitation of using real rubber or artificial rubber. Squidgy rubber, let's call it. Yeah, maybe lose a quarter of a point for that, I don't know. And I say it wasn't quite perfect on the windscreen. So, right, I think that's it. So that is a very nice, beautiful model. I think if you paint this up nice, you can have a really nice staff car. I mean, the exquisite detail you've got there, things like the Mercedes badge, you know, and the steering wheel. Brilliant. Absolutely awesome. Such fine detail. The real question is, will it go back in the bag? Yes, it did. It did put in there as well. So, what do you think then? What do you think? Now, I am more familiar with other manufacturers' cars like Tamiya or Fujimi, and I can tell you that Fujimi don't usually get very high ratings, really. I always feel they sort of, I don't know, they have very unpleasant instructions that are very hard to follow because they're all in Japanese only. However, that's a beautiful car. I think they could have done better with the instructions. Just that faintness, the instructions are a little bit alarming actually. I wouldn't want to see that repeated too often. It's hard to read, it's hard to see. You know, anybody that's not operated in great bright light would probably struggle to see anything on that page. So I'm not sure what went wrong there. If I was you, ICM, I'd have a look at talk to your printers about that and the graphic designers and try and get it a bit bolder. So there was that, and there's a lack of detail on the tyres. Does it have any detail on the actual artwork? I'm just looking if it does show any detail. Not a lot. But I'm not convinced it would be plain, to be honest. I think you'd see a manufacturer's logo, probably Continental. So I think I'm going to give it 9 out of 10, which I think is fair. Just a couple of areas that you could perhaps see some tiny improvement, but the plastic moulding is just beautiful, you know, and it's so finely detailed, you know. you know, the steering wheel, the badge, the wiper blades and all that stuff, and the door handles and things. Very, very nice indeed. So, there you go. 9 out of 10 from me for that one. Hope you found it interesting. Please stay tuned. We have lots more from ICM to come. Yes, I think that would look quite good with my Spitfire. I think that I just need some general Rommel figures to go with it. You could even do it sort of crashed, couldn't you? But anyway, a very nice product indeed. From the Ukraine, a very worthy manufacturer to support, along with others, of course. So yes, I'm most impressed by that, I have to say. 9 out of 10 from me. Hope you'll give me 10 out of 10 with a thumbs up. Give us a like, don't forget to subscribe, ding the notification bell if you haven't already, and then you get notification about the next exciting offering from ICM, which is coming soon. There's several coming through, plenty more. And you can look forward to that one. And in the meantime, I thank you all for watching. Hope you found it entertaining and interesting. In terms of the price on these, again, I think it's around about the £30–33 mark in the UK, thereabouts. Yeah, I think it's fair price, that, isn't it? Because you get a lot of detail in there, I really do. I think with the right painting, that could really come to life, really pop, you know, especially the leather on the seats and all that stuff. Very, very nice. Excellent product. Thank you very much, ICM. Thank you all for watching. Please come back soon. Stay tuned. Don't forget to watch the channel on the next show. And in the meantime, thanks very much. Take care of yourselves. And bye for now.